Hey, it's Kimberlee and welcome back to my channel. I make videos on all things lifestyle on a budget, but today I want to give a little update on the time that I had Bell's palsy, which was back at the beginning of 2022. The reason why I wanted to bring this update is because I've actually felt some lasting effects, very minimally, but I thought it worth sharing. If you didn't see that original video, you should definitely go and watch it because I just did to remind myself of how this all came about, because it's still mind-boggling to me how this actually happened. But back in the beginning of 2022, out of nowhere, I suddenly started to realize that my face had collapsed a little bit, and specifically the left side of my face, which is this side, was not moving in time with the right side of my face. And the only reason I luckily realized was because a lot of the things I do involve a camera, and when I was watching some of my footage back for some auditions that I had, I realized that my eye wasn't blinking. Giving a quick little recap, I was able to trace it back to I started feeling pain in my ear and in my jaw connecting down, like just a dull pain, didn't know what it was. I also mentioned there was a pain in the back of my neck, and for the couple days in that world leading up to it, I had said that I had trouble sleeping. What ended up happening is that I was filming a self-tape, and I noticed when I was looking back at the tape, it was for an audition, that I realized that the left side of my face, my eye wasn't blinking. Originally I thought it was the right side that was like blinking in weird time, but it actually turned out to be the opposite. And when I slowed down the videos, I could see that this eye was not truly closing. I started losing mobility in my face as well. So this side of my face, my lips, my nose, everything, my cheeks, just was not moving as strongly, even down to my eyebrows, not moving as strongly. And I did have that kind of side pain going on. Went to the doctor, early detection, caught it in time, was able to get some anti-inflammatories, also went to a neurologist to check in with it. Ultimately, with time and with the medication that I was taking, the symptoms did go away, and I did start blinking again in time. I did start regaining that mobility. But every now and then I feel a little something here and there. I don't know if I'm just hyper aware. That kind of makes me feel like these might be lasting effects that are going on, or there's just like a dull presence of it, or maybe not Bell's palsy, but maybe a loss of that same mobility or that strength that I have on this side of my face. So to get specific on what I'm talking about, in the last year or so, as I mentioned in my last video, I'm very animated. So when I'm talking, I feel like a lot of things are moving at once. But I've noticed many instances where my left eye will just kind of like open a little bit delayed. If I have like a shocked face, or I do something and I do like a heavy blink and then open up. I distinctly remember like talking to someone recently, and it's like I felt the eye like delayed and then open. Or even if I have like mascara on or something, it's just like my eye just gets caught, and then when it's opening, it's just like a hair later than the other one. I don't think I can replicate it right now, but I do think I noticed it in one of my last videos, just like ever so slightly, that I noticed it. But on the flip side, what I noticed now, as I was testing it out before, doing those same exercises that kind of helped me know what was going on, I do notice that it is very easy for me to close my eye. Like, I know that sounds crazy, but it's like I could just like very easily close my eye, whereas I feel like I have to make a diligent effort and almost like squeeze a little bit to close the one eye on my right side. It's like I almost have to do more work to keep this one closed and keep this one open, whereas this one just closes very easily. I don't know how to describe it. It's almost like the muscles, there just aren't as many muscles forcing this closed as there are to force this one closed. It's closed and I could just like go about my business, like which is kind of crazy. But that is something that I did recently notice, and I think that's also why talking and stuff like that, I'll just notice that there's like a slight delay in opening back up. I don't know what's causing that. I just think that that might be some sort of prolonged nerve damage maybe. Another thing is, every now and then that same area where I felt that dull pain or whatever, I feel like a bit of discomfort in my jaw. In terms of my eyebrows, like all of that is back, whereas before, and you saw in the original video, like I couldn't really do that. The blinking, I can do this. It's just funny because it feels like there's more tightness over here, and this is just much more looser. Other things I had mentioned in the original video was the whole nose flares thing. This is really funny because I was watching the video back, I was like, girl, your face is in the camera. Like my nostrils are just like in the frame. But it was for a good reason. I was trying to, you know, tell you guys what was going on. The nose flares are good. I feel it, you know, on every side. The big indication I've always had is the puff face. So going like that. I could not do that when I was at the height of the Bell's palsy. The lips would not close. There was air coming through. So honestly, like, I can't help. Every now and then I'll just do that to just test it, because I feel like that was my indication, like, hey, something's up. Other things are moving side to side, here, I feel good with. I just still always feel like there's something right here. I don't know if there's just some tension or whatever. Just kind of gets a bit of a workout when I'm doing that. So I don't know where the lapse is and what happened, but it is something that I do actively feel. Luckily, that first time around, I did have a CT scan, and so it wasn't anything else that was connected going on in there. Just getting into the causes. As I said in my previous video, I had heard of Bell's palsy. I actually have had it in my family before, but it was just so long ago and on separate circumstances that we did not think it was like a thing in the family. But you know, now I'm like, maybe it potentially was. It was not something that was dance related. I thought, because I had said, like, I thought I like whipped my head a certain way and that caused some sort of reaction. It wasn't that. I got the CT scan and everything came back all clear. I had said that I was using the ear cleaner thing that kind of like poked, and maybe that was the cause of it. I don't believe that that was a cause anymore, especially because they checked my ears and everything was fine. I've still continued to use that thing, and it actually is fine. Now, the other thing that maybe I am thinking is a possibility and a combination of is the fact that, yes, I did have COVID before this occurred. I think it was about like a month or so. The research that I mentioned in the first video was that I had seen that there are connections between having COVID and whatever goes on in your body with COVID ends up waking up something that might have been dormant within your body. Now, at the time, I was like, I don't have any backings other than a couple Google searches, so I can't say that that's for sure. But since then, and what we've seen a lot in the news in general, is that I've heard that over and over and over again, that COVID literally has brought about so many underlying issues for people. I'm just so eternally grateful that I caught it in time, was able to see the doctors in time, had insurance, and all that, was able to get settled like fairly quickly. It seems like in general it's kind of a bit of a mystery as to why it does affect certain people at different stages of their lives. One thing that absolutely wasn't connected is the stress level. A lot of people have said that Bell's palsy can come about from stress, and actually I do know someone that did happen with. I have stressful moments in my life, but I can tell you that that time I was cool as a cucumber. Like, I can confidently say that nothing within that time frame of my life was giving me the stress that I've experienced in the past, or the stress that I've had like recently in the past couple weeks. Like, nothing can compare. So I feel like I can confidently say that it wasn't something that was brought about on stress. Like, I think I was truly at my calmest in that time. It was quite an experience, man. I was just like, what is going on? Like, I've never experienced something like this in my life, and I had no idea how to navigate it. So I'm glad that it roughly did turn out okay. And I'm just going to continue to monitor. Hopefully it never comes back again. Let's have a conversation down below. I don't know if you're familiar with Bell's palsy. If you are, if you've experienced it, let's have a conversation. If you have experienced any post-COVID things or things you feel like are related to the fact that you had it, let's chat about that too. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.